All right. Hello. Welcome to another video lesson. Today we're going to start doing our lessons a little bit differently. We're going to do them how we do them in class via what's called the Math Wars method. Granted, the I do, we do, you do together won't be nearly as interactive, obviously, through YouTube video. But if you were out today or if you need a refresher, these are the same problems that we did in class together. Okay? Now, normally I give you one of these papers that have the little Math War organizer. If you don't have one of these, that's just fine. You can do this with any lined piece of paper. All you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half once the long way, or some call it the hot dog way. Okay? And then once you have done that, you're going to unfold it, and you're going to fold it not once, but twice via the hamburger way. Okay, the short way. Do that, and we're going to do it again. Again, the hamburger way. Okay? And now that will give you a lovely set, 8 boxes that you can do your Math Wars on, just like how we do here. So today, lesson 1, we're talking about order of operations and absolute value. Learning about the order of operations and what an absolute value is. We're learning it because order of operations is a review of previously learned content that teaches procedural fluency and conceptual understanding. How I know what I've learned it when you look at a problem involving multiple operations and describe the order of steps that you need to solve it. So we're going to start with absolute value. So over here in box 1, I'm going to make a note that the absolute value is the distance from 0 on a number line. It's denoted with straight vertical lines on each side. It is always positive. Okay? So, take a second and pause if you need to write that down. Let's take a look at our first example. We have the absolute value of -5. So it's denoted with these straight vertical lines. Okay? If you see vertical lines around here, that means you're going to be taking the absolute value. Now, the absolute value of -5, how you could look at this, you could draw a number line. Okay, start at -5, 4, -3, -2, -1, and 0. And you're going to start at -5. And you're going to go until you get to 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the absolute value of -5 is 5. And that's it. Most of the time, I would say a good portion of the time, I would say close to 99% of the time, if you're just taking the absolute value of a single number, it will just be the positive version of that number. So, for example, like I said, the absolute value of -5 is 5. The absolute value of +4, now we're going the other way, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You start at 4, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's still 4. And I know what you're thinking. Your mind is telling you, Mr. Dietz, we're going to the left, so that should be negative. But distance can never be negative. Distance can never be negative. If you're driving down the street, someone tells you, and someone's giving you directions, they're never going to tell you go negative 50 feet. They're going to tell you go 50 feet to the left or 50 feet to the right. Okay? Either way, it's positive 50. So the absolute value of 4 would just be. All right, so let's look at some operations that involve the absolute value. So we're going to move over to box number 3. And we're going to do. A second, my camera froze. Okay, there we go. Still good. We're going to do the absolute value of negative 3 plus the absolute value of negative 5. Now, this will make more sense once we get to order of operations. But the thing to know is that if you have your operation outside of the absolute values, you have to take the absolute values first. Okay? It's very important to know. If your operation is outside the absolute values, you must take the absolute value first. So the absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. Our operation is addition. The absolute value of negative 5 would be 5. Because again, when you're taking the absolute value of just a single number, 99 times out of 100, it's just going to be the positive version of that number. If you wanted to draw the number line, you could. And you do 3 plus 5 equals 8. That would be the I do. This was the I do in our class. Okay? Excuse me. So now we move on to this will be our we do. Okay? This is the problem that we did together as a class via calling on people. The absolute value of 9 plus the absolute value of negative 8. All right? So again, our operation is outside the absolute value. So we're going to take our absolute values first. Our absolute value of 9 would be 9. Our absolute value of negative 8 would be 8. 9 plus 8, simple enough. Grab your calculator if you need to. 17. Remember, in Algebra 1, you're always going to have access to a calculator. State test, my tests, you'll always have access to a calculator. Especially if you're taking an assessment, double check all of your calculations via calculator. All right, and number 5 is our you do. Okay, so in class, we did the you do of the absolute value of negative 12 minus the absolute value of negative 15. And I gave 45 seconds to do this. Excuse me. So if you want to take this opportunity, pause the video for 45 seconds. Give yourself 45 seconds. Set a timer for 45 seconds. And see if you can do this. All right, I'm going to assume now that you are back. If you did this, your answer would be negative 3. That would be your answer. How, you might ask? The absolute value of negative 12 would be 12. The absolute value of negative 15 would be 15. And then our sign, our operation, just comes down. 12 minus 15. Now, when you get to the answer of negative 3, I know what you're thinking, Mr. Dietz. You said that absolute values are always positive. Yes, but this negative 3 is no longer in an absolute value. We took care of our absolute values already at the very beginning in step 1. So this is just 12 minus 15, which is negative 3. So that's the end of that. Okay, let's talk about our other way that we can do this. All right. Box 6. Move it up. We can have the absolute value of 21 minus 17. Close the absolute value. Now, in this case, our operation is now inside the absolute value. So when it's inside the bracket, you now have to do the operation first. It's like resolving a parentheses. Okay? So we're going to keep our absolute value, and we're going to do 21 minus 17. Grab your calculator. 21 minus 17 is 4. And it's still in the absolute value. Now, after you're done with that, you have to take the absolute value of 4, which is 4. Okay? So if the operation is inside the brackets, you do the operation first. If the operation is outside of the brackets, then you do brackets first, the absolute value first. So that was our I do for this section. It's a terrible circle. Next, we move along to the we do. This is the one where I'm just calling on random people throughout the class. I gave you the absolute value of 5 minus 9. All right. So, again, our operation is inside the absolute value, so we must do our operation first. So we're going to have an absolute value here at the end. 5 minus 9 is negative 4. And then, if you take the absolute value of negative 4, you're just turning it positive. That is 4. And that is our answer. All right. So now we move on to what would have been the you do together, where you'd be working with your Math Wars partner and what have you. This is another question I gave 45 seconds for. The absolute value of 15 minus 23. So again, take this time, pause the video, try to do it yourself. Give yourself 45 seconds. All right, I'm going to assume that you're back. The answer that you're looking for is 8. Now, how do we get there? Well, since the operation is inside the absolute value, we have to do our operation first. So we do 15 minus 23, that is negative 8. You still have the absolute value behind that. So the absolute value of negative 8 would be 8. That is your answer. All right. So then we moved on to order of operations. Order of operations. I guess me writing here for a second. I apologize if I'm blocking. Order of operations is used to simplify an expression using a specific order. In this case, our order is PEMDAS. Okay? If you haven't heard of PEMDAS before, this is an acronym for P is parentheses. Or grouping symbols, which we'll get into in a minute. The E is for exponents. The M and the D are done at the same time. That's multiply, divide from left to right. And the A and the S are done at the same time. That is addition and subtraction. Again, from left to right. Okay, so take this time, pause the video, jot that down. We're going to need it for the next 6 problems. All right. So we go to our first problem. This is the old I do. So just follow along with me. The absolute value of negative 7 squared plus 3 squared times 4, close absolute value, plus 18 divided by 2 times 5. So we're going to go down PEMDAS order. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Okay, first thing we have to look at are parentheses and grouping symbols. And it's important that you know what grouping symbols are. Absolute values, for example, are a grouping symbol. So we have to resolve the absolute value first. And remember, our operations are in the absolute value, so you're going to resolve the operations first as well. So we still have to follow PEMDAS order even when we're working in a parenthesis. So let's take a look. Negative 7 squared. Now, this is very important. How this comes out is all dependent on how it's written. If it was written negative 7 in parentheses, like so, squared, then you would do negative 7 times negative 7, which would give you positive 49. However, since this is not in parentheses, you don't have the negative 7 in parentheses, this exponent only applies to the 7. So remember, an exponent is repeated multiplication. It's how many times you multiply a number by itself, essentially. How many instances of that number you have. So 7 squared would be 7 times 7, which is 49. So it would be negative 49. Conversely, or similarly, 3 squared would be 3 times 3, which is 9 times 4. And then you want to rewrite everything. And I always say, I know that rewriting everything is a pain. It is. But you're a lot less likely to make a mistake if you rewrite everything. Okay, if you write down every step, you're a lot less likely to make a mistake. So, we're still working in the parentheses. So our next step, we would have to go to multiplication. That comes before addition and subtraction. So we do 9 times 4, which is 36. Because I go 9, 18, 27, 36. Okay? Plus 18 divided by 2 times 5. Next, negative 49 plus 36 is negative 13. Plus 18 divided by 2 times 5. Now we just have to do the absolute value. The absolute value of negative 13, we're just going to make it positive. That is 13 plus 18 divided by 2 times 5. And now finally, parentheses are done. We have no remaining exponents, so exponents are done. So we go to multiplication and division. So we start at the left, we go to the right. Huzzah, we see a division sign here. So we do everything before comes down. 13 plus 18 divided by 2 is 9. So we scan again. Do we have any more multiplication and division? We do. We have 9 times 5, which is 45. And then finally, 13 plus 45 is equal to 58. And that's your answer. It's a big problem. I know. It is. You got to go through all the steps. All right. Let's go to box 10. This was the we do portion of the lesson. So we have 17 minus 2 to the 5th power divided by 4 plus 6. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite my PEMDAS over here just so I do not forget it. All right. So parentheses. Do I have any parentheses? I do not. Exponents. Do I have any exponents? I do. I have 2 to the 5th power. So remember, 2 to the 5th power, I'm just going to write it down here so it's out of the way, is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 5 instances of 2, multiplication between them. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. So we change this 2 to the 5th to 32, divided by 4 plus 6. Okay. No more exponents. Those are done. So we go to multiplication and division. So we go from left to right. Start here. Do I see any multiplication and division? Up, ding, ding, ding. 32 divided by 4. So 17 just comes down. 32 divided by 4 would be 8. Again, if you're not sure of these calculations, by all means, just use a calculator. 17. Okay, now we're done multiplication and division. I apologize. We're done multiplication and division. So we're down to addition and subtraction. We just go from left to right. 17 minus 8 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. And that is your answer. Now let's go on to what our you-do was. For this you-do, I gave 2 minutes for you to solve this problem. 24 minus 4 to the 2nd power times 3 plus 15. So at this point, pause the video. Try to take 2 minutes. Set yourself a timer for 2 minutes on your phone. You know you have a timer on your phone. And go ahead and work on it. All right. So, I'm assuming at this point you have paused the video. If you came back after 2 minutes, you should get an answer of -9. So how did we get that? Well, any parentheses? No. So we go to exponents. We have the 4 to the 2nd power here. So we do that. 4 to the 2nd power is 4 times 4, which is 16. Then we go back. Do we have any more exponents? No. So we look for multiplication and division. We start from left to right. We have multiplication right here between the 16 and the 3. So the 24 comes down. 16 times 3 is 48. Which leaves us here. Multiplication and division is done. Addition, subtraction. 24 minus 48. Always double check your calculations. -24. -24 plus 15. -9. Alrighty. I know this lesson's running a little long, so let's get into our final set of 3 problems. We're still looking at order of operations, but now things are going to get a little bit trickier. Okay? Number 12, this is another I do. we have 7 minus 2 squared plus 17 over negative 14 plus 2 times 5. So now this is in a fraction. And fractions are also considered grouping symbols. So you have to treat this as if there's a parentheses around the entirety of the numerator and a parentheses around the entirety of the denominator. And you have to do those first. And if you remember to do that, that's perfectly fine. However, what I like to do is I like to split this up. I like to take this one big problem and make it into 3 smaller problems. So I'm going to start by doing the top. The top, the numerator, is only 7 minus 2 squared plus 17. So now, sticking with my PEMDAS order, I have parentheses first. And in that parenthesis, I have to do the exponent first. 2 squared. That's 2 times 2, which is 4. Then finishing out this parenthesis, 7 minus 4 is 3. And then 3 plus 17 is 20. That is my numerator. See, that wasn't so bad. Now I go and settle my denominator. My denominator, negative 14 plus 2 times 5. I go back to PEMDAS. Parentheses, none. Exponents, none. Multiplication and division going from left to right. Right here. 2 times 5 is 10. Multiplication division is done. Addition and subtraction. Negative 14 plus 10 is negative 4. Okay? So I've now found my numerator and my denominator in 20 and negative 4. So the last step, combine 20 divided by negative 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And we only have one negative here, so we know the negative is going to stick around. So the answer is negative 5. So I said, take this big problem. This big problem is intimidating. Make it into smaller, easier to digest problems. All right, question 13, the we do. This is a we do. We do. We have 5 to the second power minus 3 to the fourth power over, parentheses, 2 to the third power minus 5 times 6 to the second power divided by 9. All right. Just like last time, let's split this into smaller problems. We're going to start with our top, our numerator. 5 squared minus 3 to the fourth power. So 5 squared, that's 5 times 5, is 25. Minus 3 to the fourth power is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 4 instances of the number 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. When you do 25 minus 81 is negative 56, otherwise known as the negative of my lucky number. All right, let's do the bottom. I have a feeling the bottom is going to be more involved. We have 2 to the third power times, minus 5, not times 5, minus 5. Times 6 to the second power divided by 9. So we got to take care of each set of parentheses. 2 to the third power, that's 2 times 2, which is 4 times 2 is 8, minus 5. 6 to the second power is 6 times 6, which is 36, divided by 9. So now we just go to do the rest of the parentheses. 8 minus 5 is 3 times 36 divided by 9, which is 4. 3 times 4 equals 12. So now the only step left is we have to combine. We have negative 56 over 12, our numerator of negative 56 over our denominator of 12. And I'm going to show you how to do this really easily. I just need to go get one of my calculators from across the room. Please hold. All right, so you could simplify negative 56 over 12. If you're struggling with simplification, let's do this on the old calculator. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, so we have our fraction of negative 56. Make sure you're using this negative button, not the minus button, the negative button. ABC, this button right here, ABC, 12. Then you hit enter. And the calculator will simplify it for you. Calculator will simplify it for you. The thing about the calculator is that it's going to default to simplifying to a mixed number. While typically in this class we want to leave things in improper fractions. That's fine. The calculator can do that for you too. So you're going to hit the second button and hit ABC. And you're going to take your answer, convert from mixed number to improper fraction. Enter. Negative 14 over 3. And then you're just going to go over here, and you're going to write negative 14 over 3, and you're going to circle it, and you're going to say, Mr. Dietz, I'm done. All right, final question of this video. Like I said, it's been a long one, I know. You do. I gave 4 minutes for this question, so if you want to set a timer for yourself to try it in 4 minutes. It is 17 times 5 minus 3 times 5 over 3 to the second power plus 1. So at this point, you can set a timer for 4 minutes, pause the video, set a timer for 4 minutes if you want to try it. All right, let's go over the answer. Answer, I believe, if I did this right in my head, will be 7. Let's find out. So we do our top. 17 times 5 minus 3 times 5. So there's no parentheses, there's no exponents. We go right to multiplication and division. We go from left to right. 17 times 5. You go to your calculator. What is 17 times 5? 85. Minus 3 times 5 is 15. 85 minus 15 would be 70. And that's your top. Now let's see the bottom. 3 squared plus 1. This one's an easy one. 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. Ta-da. So now we go to our final step. Combine our top and bottom. Your top is 70 from here. Your bottom is 10 from here. And you do 70 divided by 10 equals 7. And that's your final answer. Okay, so that is order of operations and absolute values. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any further questions, please feel free to track me down in class or send me an email, whatever it is you need to do. But thank you for taking the time to watch this because it means you want to enhance your own learning. So thank you so much, and I will see you in class.